Hey guys, and welcome back. My name's Ohaple, and today we're going to be doing my 10,000 subscriber Q&A. We just hit 10,000 subs not that long ago, so you guys suggested doing a Q&A. You guys gave me a bunch of questions on yesterday's video, and here we go. We're going to answer them. Stick around. The first question comes from my friend OMGWTFL0LZ, and she says, what is the favorite video of yours that you've done? And to me, it's the Titanfall song parody called Militia's Anthem. I'll link it down in the description below if you guys are interested to see it. I thought it was a really fun video. It never really got that many views, maybe like 10,000 or so, but it was one of those that kind of combined everything I really like about YouTube. I was getting to play guitar and record the song from scratch on guitar. Then I got to go in and work with my sister and have her do all the vocals. Then I got to go play some Titanfall and get some really cool clips to make a nice montage. And then spend a lot of time editing and really perfecting it to how I wanted. And it was one of those videos that took me maybe, you know, like 20 or 30 hours to make. But it's still my favorite by far just because of that. Just because I have so much time into it. It turned out just like I wanted. So yeah, that's my favorite video that I've made so far. The next question comes from The Untouchable Wolf. He asks, what is the first game that you ever played? I think it was Super Mario 64. My parents went out and bought a Nintendo 64 around the time I was probably 4 or 5, if I'm remembering right. And they got Super Mario 64. My mom was stay at home at the time, and she and I hung out, and she would play it and let me play it some. And I think that's the first time I ever played games, was at home on the Super Mario 64. If it wasn't that, it might have been Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. I played both of those kind of around the same time period, but that one I actually played with my friends instead of with my parents. Next question comes from Random Manuelito, and he asks Mac or Windows. So both. I use Mac and Windows daily. I do all my editing on Mac using Premiere Pro, but I do all of my streaming on Windows using Open Broadcaster. I use them both because I like them both for different things. For my daily usage, I use the Mac more, but Windows has its place as well. So yeah, I use both. Don't really pick a favorite there. Next up, Larry Time TV asks, advice on how to get your viewers to engage more and be more active on your channel. Two things: be consistent. The more you're consistent, the more your subscribers will come back to watch your content every day. And as for how to get more engagement, one of the best ways to get more engagement is simply to ask for it. If you say, hey, don't forget to like this video, speaking of which, don't forget to like this video, or subscribe at the end, or send them over to your Twitter page or any of that, make sure to provide your links in the description. That will all help boost your interaction and engagement on your channel. The next two questions we're going to kind of bundle together because they're game preference questions. COD or Battlefield? It depends. If I'm on console, definitely Call of Duty all the time. I would much rather play Call of Duty on a console. But if I'm playing on PC, I would much rather be playing Battlefield, because Battlefield just seems to suit itself to the PC environment, while Call of Duty does not. I've played both of them on both console and PC, and yeah, I'd much rather play Battlefield on PC, COD on console, and I think they're both cool games. And Watch Dogs or GTA 5? If I had to pick one, it'd be GTA 5, though I think they're both pretty fun games. GTA 5 does have a lot more replayability to me. And one of my good friends, The Sneeko, asks, what was it that made you realize you wanted to seriously do YouTube? So this would have been about a year and a half ago. I started just uploading clips, and really what it was I was playing with my clan, the Ice Gaming clan, and I was wanting to show them game clips, and I didn't really have a good way to do that, so I created a YouTube, or actually I have the YouTube. I started uploading little game clips and showing them to them that way. And at that time, I was getting more serious into Call of Duty, and I started watching guys like Woody's Gamertag and Drifter and T-Mar and Wings of Redemption and all those guys, and then I finally decided, like, let's just try doing a commentary for once. And I tried it, and immediately it was just like, oh, this is really fun. Like, what I liked most about it is just that it was like a constant challenge, that even once you did something good, there's something else to get right. So like, I felt like my first commentary, I was really proud of it, and then I listened back to it now, and the audio quality wasn't that great, the editing wasn't that great, the titles weren't that great. There was a lot of stuff to improve on, and I like to learn new things all the time and continue to improve no matter what it's in. That's just kind of like how I like to tackle it, is by constant learning. And YouTube suits itself to that, because whether I'm learning how to do some woodworking or some guitar thing or gaming, I can always go and apply that learning back into videos and then also progress my video skills at the same time. So yeah, it would have been probably watching Woody's Gamertag, T-Mart, Wings of Redemption, all those guys made me realize, hey, let's try a commentary. And then once I tried it, I was just hooked. And then he uses the word seriously. Once I started getting a couple hundred views and a couple thousand views on some videos, it kind of, you know, made me wonder, you know, like, I wonder if I could make any money at this. You know, let's see how big we can get. And that's kind of been where we've gone from there. Lord of the Pixels asks, would you be willing to do a series where you showcase other channels every week? And yes, I already have this series, though I've kind of been not doing it as often since Ghosts has gotten boring. We call the series Coach Ohaple, and kind of the format for that is you can submit a gameplay to me of a game that I consider myself to be good at. So that's got to be something Call of Duty, Titanfall, whatever. And you submit a gameplay, I commentate over the gameplay, talking about your channel, giving you a shout out, and giving you constructive criticism on your gameplay. And that kind of allows my fans to get tips on the game, as well as gives your channel a shout out and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, send me a tweet or PM on YouTube, either way. And the last question we have for this Q&A comes from I'm Cameron Watson, and he asks, what's your favorite thing about being a YouTuber? It's kind of hard to pick one thing. Probably one of my favorite things, even though it's like, it'll seem strange, is that there's like always work to be done, because I don't do well with just like sitting around and just being lazy all the time watching TV. So I like that it gives me something that, oh man, I've got 4 hours to fill tonight. Well, I can edit up a nice video. I can do a live stream for 4 hours. It gives me something to do that feels like more than just sitting down watching TV. It gives me an activity. Maybe it makes me strive to do something else where, you know, now I'm interested in video production. So now I can go out and research microphones for a couple hours and decide what I want to buy, or build a project and do a tutorial on that. It motivates me to just get stuff done and to not sit around watching TV all the time, which I think is best for my personality, really. And lastly, thank you guys so much for your support over the last year or so. It's been a blast growing to 10,000 subs. When I first started out, I didn't think we'd get to this point at all. Now, it's kind of snuck up on me. You know, you gain 50 subs every day, and before you know it, you're at 10K. And yeah, it's been a blast. I've been really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to continuing on. If you're not familiar with all of my links and everything, they're in the description down below. But the quick overview: Twitter @Ohaple, Facebook.com/Ohaple, YouTube.com/Ohaple, Twitch.tv/Ohaple. We also have a mobile app where you can watch all my stuff. You can just search Ohaple on the Android or iOS App Store. And the newest 2 additions to kind of my lineup is Patreon, which is where you can donate money to YouTubers that you follow. I'm using Patreon to try to offset some of my costs associated with YouTube, because YouTube, once I account for all the software and equipment and higher internet costs and everything that I accrue, maybe like $75 extra a month for me to do YouTube. So I'm using Patreon to kind of offset that. And the other one we're getting into is called Curious.com. It's a lifelong learning website where you can upload lessons and people then watch and go through your lessons. And it's a little bit more interactive than YouTube is. I'm starting over there as well, Curious.com/OhapleDIY. I'll link all of that stuff down in the description below. Make sure to like, favorite, and subscribe this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again.